What if Naruto had solo leveling? Y'all have been requesting this video for such a long time, and one specific user commented under one of my community tab posts and it stuck out like a sore thumb. And he says, bro, I asked you for a what if Naruto had solo leveling a million times. His username is Moataz Mubai, I don't know. His comments above, okay? But look, basically, point is, you guys have asked me to do this for so long, and you know what? That is true. Like, so many of you guys have wanted me to do this specific what if. So finally, after procrastinating on this one for such a long time, I guess we'll finally do it. By the way, my next video will probably be a My Hero one. So for those of you waiting for that, just know. All right, just know. Anywho, though, ladies and gentlemen, do all the usual YouTube stuff. And with no further ado, enjoy.
Hey, Ross, sauce it up.
We start our story off in not the nicest place, I'm not gonna lie. Naruto straight getting beat up as we speak by the ops, and they're all just pretty much telling him, fight back, let him get up. Like, that's the perspective that we're jumping into. Like, this is how this entire story starts off. I know, beautiful, but no, yeah. So this entire story starts off with pretty much Naruto getting beat down. Like, Naruto is having a pretty bad day. Now, we would be in the perspective of Naruto on his 12th birthday. Naruto would be actually, no. Let's do 11th birthday, right? Yeah, 11th birthday, okay? So, Naruto's on his 11th birthday, mind you, right? And because of this, on every day on Naruto's birthday, we know that Naruto was always treated terribly by the villagers. Let's just say that on this particular day, a bunch of them got together and they were like, you know what? We're tired of Naruto breathing. Let's just cancel his subscription to life. So that's exactly what they do. They all band together and they decide that they want to cancel Naruto's subscription to breathing, right? So they all do so. They beat him up, and eventually they leave him beaten and bloody and in a pulp. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, Naruto would die if it wasn't for the fact that this like strange pop-up menu would appear. And it would say, do you want to play, like, no, not do you want to play a game, but it would just be a button that says start now. And then there'd be like another button that says quit game, right? And Naruto just looks up at this menu option and he's like, what the? You know what I mean? But he just looks and he says start now. So he clicks that button and immediately Naruto is just like his body is all completely healed. Like, all those injuries gone. And Naruto was teleported in front of some strange celestial Naruto weird being, right? Like let's just say that it's like an Otsutsuki that's like super OP or something like that. I don't know. Or better yet, bro was brought in front of me. Nah, bro, that's just so cringe. Nah, it's an Otsutsuki or something like that, right? But what pretty much ends up going down is that Naruto looks at this thing and he's just like, what is going on, right? This being then pretty much tells him that since he pressed start now, he's now a player. And because of that, he's going to have all these new stats. He explains that he can rank up by going into like these dungeons and things like that, defeating mobs and gaining XP and all that stuff. And normal training will also give him XP. Going on missions will give him XP. And fighting off, facing off against stronger opponents will also give him XP. So Naruto has a multitude of ways to level up. And then the being pretty much tells him that nobody has ever reached level 100 on everything. So Naruto should try to aspire to go for that. And Naruto would just like smile and say he will. As from here, Naruto just straight wakes up on his bed the next day. And he would wake up super upset because he thinks to himself that it was all probably a dream. Naruto from here begins to make his way home, not home, but to school. And on his way there, he finally realizes something. On the top right hand corner of his screen is a little health bar and an image of what he looks like a gamer tag thing where, like, if you're playing Mortal Kombat, like, your character's there and your health is there, or like Naruto Ninja Storm, right? But just like that, Naruto can see himself, and Naruto would be like, what the, like what is going on? But ultimately he would make his way towards his class, and once there, Naruto would just go through it the entire day, as ultimately by the end of everything, Naruto decides that he needs to train hard if he wants to become the Hokage someday and gain the respect of the villagers, right? So Naruto makes his way towards the training grounds and throws a bunch of punches, does a bunch of push-ups, does a bunch of sit-ups, and does a 10-kilometer run. As Naruto, he's doing his thing, you know what I mean? Like, Naruto's getting down. And ultimately, he would get 5 levels of XP, right? Because he's low level, so it doesn't cost that much XP to level up each stat. And Naruto would realize that, like these stats, like, they're trippy. Like, what is going on, right? So he goes into his menu and he realizes these are his current stats. His speed is 8, his strength is 9, his intelligence is 5, his agility is 10, and his durability is 5. Now, Naruto's intelligence is at 5, and he has 5 points in total that he could use to add to all of these things. And I'm pretty sure that many of you guys could already guess which one Naruto would decide to add all 5 of his new points into. Yep, strength. So now Naruto's strength jumped from 9 to 14 with those 5 extra points that Naruto just got added, right? So now Naruto is way stronger than he was before, and Naruto would be super, super, super excited. Plus, the fact that every day that he does normal training, his stats will slightly improve a bit, you know what I mean? Plus, it'll mainly just give him XP points, which he can use to upgrade himself and stuff like that. He's also going to have access to potions, and he's also going to have access to super abilities, special abilities. Just like characters in video games where Mario can eat special mushrooms or flowers and plants, and he gains different abilities such as shooting ice or shooting fire or flying or all that crazy stuff. So basically just like that, and kind of like an RPG game, pretty much kind of like an RPG game quirk, Naruto is just going to have access to all these things. It might be called solo leveling, but we're not really going to treat it like solo leveling because honestly, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I haven't read Solo Leveling, y'all. It's just a very convenient title because, let's be honest, you clicked on it because you saw Solo Leveling. Like don't lie to me. And it's still going to be solo leveling, but not really. It's pretty much going to be we have solo leveling at home, all right? But don't judge me. Anyways, though, continuing on forward with the story, what would pretty much end up going down is that Naruto for the following next couple of years would literally just keep to himself. Bro just trains every day, goes into dungeons, does towers, does missions, and for an entire year, because keep in mind, he was 11 when this happened, and for 1 year, he would pretty much train, and he literally hasn't used any of his points. He just trains and trains and trains and trains, and continued grinding up low-level mobs and all that stuff. So after that entire year of training, seeing as this was the easiest that he's ever going to gain levels, I think that it would definitely be more than fair if we say that Naruto, after a year, because keep in mind, a year is a very, very long time of training, right? So let's give him 43 XP points, which he can put towards all of his stats. And considering that Naruto is a ninja, not only would his stats have gone up by a significant amount due to his already just normal crazies training and all that stuff, but also now he gets to add XP to it. So his speed went up through normal means of training to a 12. His strength went up through normal means of training through a 17. His intelligence pretty much stayed the same. Let's be honest, it's now a 6. His agility went up to a 15, and his durability definitely would have gone up a lot considering he destroyed his body multiple times. So let's say his durability went up to a 24. So all in all, Naruto is actually a very, very strong, capable person. But these are pretty much the all-around stats of somebody like Sasuke, right? Naruto at this current level is basically just at Sasuke's level. And at Sasuke's level when he was 12 years old. Or actually not. When the Chunin exam, not Chunin exams, but when the graduation ceremony happened during the bell test. This is Sasuke's level during the bell test. So Naruto is stronger than him through means of training and XP and all that stuff. But now Naruto gets to add his 43 points of XP onto everything. And Naruto decides, you know what? He doesn't really know how to do it, so he's probably going to drop 10 into his intelligence. So now his 6 turns into a 16. And Naruto then has an idea. He's like, okay, now that I'm smarter, I could probably think of a lot better ways to use these points. So Naruto thinks to himself, wouldn't finally, now that Naruto has a clear conscience, he's like, my intelligence is the lowest thing. Low key, I should still pick it up more. So Naruto decides to drop 20 points on it, turning his intelligence up to a 26, making Naruto extremely, 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 extremely smart. right? So he puts 3 points of his points towards durability, which turns that into a 27, and then now he only has 20 left, which he uses 10 on speed, making that a 22, and 10 on strength, making that a 27. So all 43 of his XP points were all used. And I'm not gonna lie, I think that he definitely used them very, very smart. Speed 22, strength 27, intelligence 26, agility 15, and durability 27. I think that it was a very, very smart use of his time. Obviously his agility needs some work, but it's nothing that Naruto can't do by simply destroying a couple mob farms, seeing as now he has so many more levels. Plus, he now has an extra year to train on all this stuff and get even more OP. By the way, now Naruto is like if I had to put it in some sort of way, now Naruto with all those upgrades is like Chunin exams, post-training with Kakashi level. Like, that's how strong Naruto is. So like, he's definitely up there when it comes to the rankings of like, whoa, like that is very respectable. You know what I mean? Like Sasuke during the Chunin exams was no joke. Like the dude was able to do many crazy feats. So Naruto, being the fact that he's barely about to graduate the academy and he's already at that level, if not a bit higher, is just uber super impressive, right? So we're going to keep under that same assumption, and we're just going to keep rolling with the story. Eventually, the day of the graduation exam would come up, and Naruto would still be told by Mizuki that there's another path, that he can become a Chunin if he passes this test. And Naruto, obviously being that his intelligence is at a 26, this time he doesn't fall for it. He actually realizes, oh, alright, Mizuki's trying to fool me. But he also thinks to himself, wait, he wants me to steal the Scroll of Sealing. The Scroll of Sealing has a bunch of really interesting things in it, and if I steal the Scroll of Sealing, I could probably write all this stuff down and then like keep all these jutsus for myself. Like that'd be super cool, you know? So Naruto steals it. He makes his way towards the Forest of Death. He writes down the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He writes down the Rasengan. He writes down the Reanimation Jutsu, Water Dragon Jutsus. He writes down even a jutsu as powerful as the Chidori itself, because like let's say it's in there because why not, and even the Flying Raijin is written in there. So Naruto writes that down and he's just getting all these things, but right as he finishes writing down the Flying Raijin, Mizuki makes his presence known and he'd be like, you fool, hand over the scroll, Naruto. And Naruto looks at Mizuki and he's like, oh, make me. So Mizuki smirks and he throws the Demon Wind Shuriken towards the direction of Naruto. Naruto would simply jump up into the air, dodging it, and then turning towards Mizuki mid-air, he then proceeds to shoot a wind-style wind bullet jutsu straight at the face of Mizuki, sending him flying off of the branch that he was on, and Mizuki would go crashing onto the ground. Naruto saying, let's try this one. As from here, he holds a sign out for the multi-shadow clone jutsu, and he proceeds to absolutely obliterate Mizuki. And once he defeats Mizuki, he gains 1 XP point. And Naruto, after realizing how small Mizuki's XP gave him, like he straight gets sad. Because after the extra year, which I didn't even jump into, because keep in mind, all the stats that he had was when he was 12. Then he had an extra year to when he was 13 and was at the graduation exam point where he ended up getting even more levels. And because he was even stronger, things were even easier for Naruto to achieve, meaning that he ended up getting, but even though they were easier to get levels, the levels that he had to get were a lot harder to get. Like it was easier for Naruto to do some things, but the difficulty went up as he kept going. So eventually, after he got like 20 XP points, getting XP became increasingly harder. So let's just say that Naruto gained access to 47 new XP points, which Naruto can feel free to just throw into whatever stats he needs. And now, Naruto has been, actually, no, not 47. Yeah, 47 is cool, actually. No, I'm tripping. So, he has access to 47 XP points, and this is just the beginning of the anime. Like, did y'all hear me? Wait, y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that? The beginning. I've spent 14 minutes just talking about the beginning. Let that sink in, y'all. Let that sink in. But anyways, these 47 points that he's using, he's going to make a big brain move and throw 10 into intelligence, making that 36. He throws a solid 7 into speed, making that 29. So that was 17 points. He now has 30 left. And what does he put 20 towards? His agility. Because why not? And then after that, he puts another 10 into his durability, making that a 37. Because Naruto realized one thing when fighting these bosses. He would get very, very, very tired. And it's not only durability, but it's also durability / stamina. I definitely need to write that down. Hold on. Stamina. Durability / stamina. Oh, wait, hold on. Y'all. Oh. What did I just do? I think I might have just opened Pandora's box accidentally. Give me a second, y'all. All right, there. So stamina / durability. It's now at a 37. And I think that I could definitely say with clear conscience that Naruto definitely put all of his points towards great use. I mean, he upgraded his agility very, very highly. He put 20 points into that, put 10 points into that, put 10 points into that, put 7 points into that, I would say that Naruto definitely went kind of crazy. All of his stats are very high, so now his weakest stat is strength. But Naruto doesn't really mind, considering that his strength and speed are basically even, and the other stats that he needs more care on are the ones that are gonna keep him in balance. Naruto doesn't want to be too just focusing on speed and strength, considering that Naruto has access to jutsus and his taijutsu fighting abilities are actually not half bad. So now Naruto is not the level of Chunin exam Sasuke no more. Nah, bro. Now Naruto was officially getting into that Kakashi tier levels of strength, part 1 Kakashi, mind you, okay? Not super OP levels, but still, this is definitely up there in terms of whoa, this dude is strong, you know what I mean? So pretty much what would end up actually going down is that the very next day, they end up having the meetup of Team 7 and the introductions. Kakashi is still fashionably late, just like usual, and eventually they would all end up having their own introductions like canon. So it all goes down just like usual. However, Naruto says that his goal is to reach level 100. Everybody would be super confused, but they would ultimately just skip past it. And also, I forgot to mention, Naruto, due to the fact that he also has abilities like special abilities, would have also gained access to something known as double jump. So now Naruto's able to double jump mid-air. And Naruto gained an ability called rewind, where Naruto was able to rewind his body, only his body, 2 seconds back in time. So let's say that Sasuke charges up a Chidori and straight slams it into his chest. As long as Naruto doesn't instantly die, if Naruto has some sort of semblance on his body for just an instant to be able to use his rewind, which he can only use once a day, he could be able to pretty much rewind that fatal attack and make it so that it just literally never happened. Naruto can continue fighting. It's a really busted ability, but I think that it's just the right amount of busted where it's not whoa, he's gonna one-shot everyone, you know what I mean? So I definitely think that I chose the perfect special ability for Naruto. And with that said, let's keep going. So eventually the next day would pretty much end up coming around. Naruto would see Kakashi coming in, and Kakashi would explain the bell test. As soon as Kakashi does so, Naruto would pretty much just be the only one still standing there. And Kakashi would look at Naruto and would ask him what he thinks he's doing. Naruto would say, honestly, he's adjusting his headband because he doesn't like it on his forehead. He takes it off and he puts it around his neck. He then says that this is just a whole lot cooler looking, and that he was really interested in the way that Hinata girl was capable of putting the headband. He thinks it looks sick. He also says Shikamaru's way of putting it also looks awesome, so he might try that one of these days, but ultimately, he's just gonna, he's just gonna do this real quick. And Kakashi looks at him with this weird expression, being like, so you're not gonna try to take the bells? And Naruto looks at him and he's like, bro, relax. I'm getting to that. As Kakashi just is dumbfounded. He's like, who does this kid think he who does this kid think he is? Why are you talking to me like that, kid? You know what I mean? But ultimately, Naruto just looks at Kakashi and he's like, dude, you're so rude. You can't just let me do my thing. You know what I mean? And Kakashi's like, you're the rude one. What are you? You know what I mean? But Naruto ultimately is like, whatever. And from here, Naruto would proceed to form a bunch of hand signs before saying, multi-shadow clone jutsu! And basically making it so that all these shadow clones would blitz in at Kakashi. Now keep in mind, each one of these shadow clones is around Chunin level exams Sasuke, the one post training with Kakashi, the one that just finished training with Kakashi and was about to fight Gaara. That's how strong each one of these individual clones is, considering they're a small amount of Naruto's power. And all of them rush in, and Kakashi is dumbfounded. Kakashi thought to himself, "Oh, I have my book out." But Kakashi, I don't think you guys understand how broken this is. Like, this moment is crazy. Kakashi literally almost just lost his life to Naruto, like about to like cut his neck. You know what I mean? Causing Kakashi to like drop his book. It gets covered in dirt. He gets a rage boost, which should cause him to like go absolutely nuts to butts. And then he reveals his Sharingan, causing Kakashi to just go absolutely haywire, destroying all of these clones. And Naruto to smirk, saying that he knew he was capable of that. As from here, Kakashi would like look at Naruto with this like look of just rage, like bro basically just killed his best friend in front of him, or at least he might as well have, right? Natsu would be proud at this moment. But anyways, Naruto would turn towards the direction of Kakashi and would say that he's gonna pay for that. As from here, I said Natsu. No, Kakashi would turn towards the direction of Naruto and say, "You're gonna pay for that." And then he would blitz in with a Chidori in hand, mind y'all, because he knows that if the clones are this weak, then Naruto has to be about as strong as Naruto. And Naruto smirks before forming his own Chidori and blitzing in at Kakashi before clashing with each one of them, and then both of them in anime like protagonist style would like go by each other, right? From here, a large slash would appear on Kakashi's chest, and Naruto would just pretty much have a slash go across his as well. Himself and Kakashi both drop down to one knee, and then Naruto turns back towards him, completely healed. Kakashi would be stunned because he's like, nah, like I tagged them, like what? But Kakashi's the only one who seemed to have actually gotten damage from that, right? And then Naruto says, oh no, like that was impressive, like I'm not gonna lie, like you did fatal amount of damage. And Kakashi would say like he was even worried that he might have killed him or something, but the kid's fine. So Kakashi, like, he realizes that now he not only is he drained of chakra because he fought all the clones, but now he's also injured and weakened. So he's not even going to be able to face off against Naruto with him actually going full all out. So Naruto now is an easy path to just straight snatch the bells, but ultimately Kakashi would say, you failed. And Naruto would be like, what? Kakashi explains that it's pretty much just because Naruto didn't actually do the real point of this test. Kakashi says that normally, most students or Genin aren't capable of actually taking the bells, which is why the real purpose of this exam is to see how they would work as a team. Teamwork, Naruto. That's what this whole test was about. And you failed. I'm sorry to tell you, but there was nothing that had teamwork with your performance. It was impressive, and yes, you are far more powerful than me, and while you should probably already be a Jonin, you still can't get to that level due to the fact that you didn't become a Genin because you failed. Alright? You gotta go back to the academy. And Naruto would look at him and be like, are you serious? And Kakashi would say is what I would say, but ultimately because you're as strong as you are, and I guess teamwork is something that could potentially be taught, I think that it would be a good idea to give you guys a cool week to see if you guys would change a bit. If not, after this week worth of D-rank missions, I'll determine whether your team actually passes. Sasuke, Sakura, come out here. And so, Sasuke and Sakura each would end up making their own presences known. Once this would eventually end up happening, Naruto would just kind of like look towards the direction of Sasuke and Sakura, and he would like ask them if they had any idea that this was going to be the point of the test. And they both look at him and they're just like, nah, like I didn't. Sasuke would like kind of like insinuate that he kind of had like a weird feeling, but ultimately Naruto realizes that Sasuke is just full of it, and that honestly Sasuke just doesn't want to look like he had no clue. But regardless, Sasuke ultimately doesn't have any clue what he was doing. So continuing forward, 1 week worth of worthless missions would happen, and during that 1 week Naruto would end up gaining, let's say, about 4 XP points, which Naruto would actually end up just throwing into his strength category, picking that up to his final 30s stage, right? Now that's a 31. Actually, no, I'm going to say he puts 3 into strength, making that a 30, and he puts 1 into speed, making that a 30 as well. So with speed and strength are once again balanced, and Naruto was just getting stronger and stronger by the day. During this 1 week of mission, Naruto had a lot more free time than he's used to, so he was able to pretty much spend a lot of time in the dungeons, which is why he was capable of getting those 4 XP points that he was able to put into those the little thingy, right? But ultimately after this would end up going down, Finally, after about 2 weeks worth of time would pass, Kakashi would say that the team is more than ready to actually go on real missions, and with Sasuke's level of power, Sakura's willingness to just do what Sasuke says, and ultimately Naruto's level of strength, he thinks that the team will be more than capable of taking on a C rank. So they go to Hiruzen and they request exactly that. And once this ends up going down, they would end up meeting and being introduced to Tazuna the Bridge Builder. Once this ends up going down, Tazuna ultimately would end up pretty much just introducing himself, being a complete drunken mess, and would end up just pretty much saying that he's Tazuna and that, you know, they need to protect him. Like, why is this village giving him this garbage? You know, like, he deserves more than this, you know what I mean? Like, yada, yada, yada. Saying, I paid good money for this, Hokage, you know what I mean? And ultimately, the very next day, they would find themselves at the bridge. Now, as soon as they would embark on their journey, let's say about 30 minutes into it, they would immediately be ambushed by the two demon brothers. Now, each one respectively would come in towards the direction of Tazuna, trying to actively end his life by slashing him with lace kunais, which ultimately would fail in the original, with Sasuke taking them out by himself. However, this time, not only is Sasuke one of the ones to snap into action, but Naruto would be as well. Naruto would blitz over towards one, grabbing its chain, tying it around the brother's arm, slamming him into the tree, and then holding a kunai to his neck, before then asking who sent him. And this man would look at the eyes of Naruto and just see the amount of bloodlust that is going off of them. He feels terror. He is completely shocked. And like it's not even a stretch to say that bro would basically be feeling like peeing himself. Like, that's how afraid the demon brother is of Naruto. But Naruto ultimately spins the kunai in his hand, puts it back in his pouch, and tells Kakashi that they're hired assassins. From here, Kakashi would end up taking both of their lives and pretty much ending up taking them in for profit in the bingo book. Naruto would be kind of annoyed by this, considering the fact that he wasn't the one who defeated them. But ultimately, there's nothing that they could do, considering Kakashi could have done so just as easily as they did. So it is what it is. I guess it can't be avoided. Ultimately, they continue on forward with the mission, and it'd be at this moment that Naruto would get caught off guard by a white bunny. Naruto would throw a kunai at it, as from here would go towards the bunny and pick it up, saying that this is strange. This does not belong here. We're not in winter time. What is a white bunny doing here, you know? In Sakura not understanding what Naruto's trying to say would be like, Naruto, you scared of white bunnies? Like, how are you scared of bunnies? You know what I mean? And Sasuke ultimately would look at her with this look of like, relax, like he's onto something, you know? Kakashi would have a serious face, and everybody would be like in a serious mode, except for Sakura, who thinks that this is all just a big game or something like that. But ultimately, once Sasuke makes it known that like clearly he feels uneasy, and Kakashi does too, Sakura would finally get into her serious mode, hold a kunai, and ask like why everyone's so tense. Suddenly, Kakashi would scream out, "Everybody dodge!" And from here, everybody would dodge this gigantic blade which would come flying at them. Zabuza would make his presence known, and immediately Kakashi and Zabuza would embark on their first battle of the original canon. Now, Kakashi, having already been defeated by Naruto, would train a little bit harder, so it would be a little bit harder for Zabuza to trap him in the water prison, but ultimately I think that Kakashi would still get caught off guard because he's being cocky and he just doesn't put the time in that he needed to, or the adequate amount of strength in to actually destroy Zabuza, right? So ultimately he gets caught off guard, and Naruto, seeing this, he just kind of sighs, you know what I mean? Like, he cracks his neck and knuckles and then would politely ask Zabuza to let him go, or he can die. And Zabuza would look at him, smirk, form 6 clones, and say that he's gonna be the only one dying here. So Naruto ultimately, using his speed, would blitz at all of them and completely obliterate them, using a Chidori in his hand, as he would then rush over towards Zabuza and would almost pierce him. However, a Senbon needle would come flying in out of nowhere, and Naruto would be completely caught off guard. At this point, Haku would end up coming in, jumping on top of the water and freezing the entirety of it. Also, freezing down Naruto, who would have got completely caught off guard by that. And Naruto would just be inside of like the frozen like ice, you know what I mean? And Kakashi just staring at this Sharingan active as he looks forward towards the direction of Haku and Zabuza and asks who this is, if he's with Zabuza. Zabuza smirks and would say that this is Haku and that he's dead. And from here, he would say that he was going to take it easy on him and show him mercy, but that option's far gone. And Kakashi would just be shocked. His eye would widen, as from here he would reveal his Sharingan and get to work, you know what I mean? But Naruto would begin shaking in the glass. Or sorry, not glass, but in the ice. The ice would start like shivering, and then Naruto's body would just like shatter it. Like his pure just strength, like he just was not about to get frozen in ice. So he shatters out of it, and then he turns towards the direction of Haku as he looks at Kakashi and says he better be able to handle the mercenary. And Kakashi would like just nod as Naruto would blitz in towards Haku, and both of them would engage in a taijutsu battle in which it would be actually very surprisingly even. Haku and Naruto never had that interaction, so Haku has less of a reason to hold back in this version, making the battle a whole lot more even than it was in canon. However, due to the fact that Naruto, not only does he have speed 30, strength 30, intelligence 36, agility 35, and a stamina/durability at a 37, which is already very, very, very impressive. He's like basically he's 1/3 along the way of how strong he's going to get in this series. So he is very strong, and being capable of tagging somebody like Haku, very, very, very impressive. But ultimately Naruto would decide that he needs to stop playing around, and eventually he would double jump over Haku, catching Haku completely off guard by how Naruto did that, transform himself as a shadow clone, one of his shadow clones, into a kunai, or not kunai, but like a demon wind shuriken, and throw it at the direction of Haku, who would get caught off guard by the shuriken, turning back into a normal Naruto, who would then go on to slam a Rasengan into the stomach of Haku, causing Haku to get blown back and absolutely obliterated. At this simultaneous moment, Zabuza would end up being ultimately destroyed by a water dragon jutsu by Kakashi. As from here, both of them would be tied up and then ultimately questioned by Kakashi, who would ask them why they're here and all this extra stuff. Ultimately, Zabuza would say that, like they'll never say anything, and that, he might as well just kill them, right? And, Kakashi was about to, but Naruto puts his hand over Kakashi's and says that they shouldn't get killed. Like, they should be taken back to the village and maybe potentially converted into Leaf Shinobi. Like, they look very capable. Kakashi looks at him and he'd be like, Naruto, you don't understand. Like, most of the time, shinobis aren't capable of change. They always end up backstabbing the village. So it's always a smart idea to just take care of him. And Naruto says, well, I get this guy. He's evil, but look at him. The other guy. He doesn't seem like he's actually evil. He seems like he's just following orders. And if we're following orders to go take somebody else, we're going to do it even though we're not bad guys, right? So I think these people deserve a second chance. What do you think, Kakashi? And Kakashi would sit there for a second looking still, as from here, he would put the kunai back in his pocket and say that Naruto wins. They can take them back to the village. So, for the next week, they would end up putting seals on them so that they can't use their chakra, and they would pretty much just be binded and fed alongside the Team 7 when they were with Tazuna, right? Eventually, Gato would arrive, and Naruto would actually end up telling them to watch this, that they're not gonna hurt them or nothing like that, right? And Naruto would blitz in and just absolutely obliterate Gato's men. Like, Naruto's used to taking out hordes of monsters at a time, so taking out some weak punks with swords and baseball bats and brass knuckles would just be a walk in the park to Naruto. It's like waking up and eating breakfast, bro. Like, that's how simple the task Naruto did of what he was doing at that exact moment. So he completely obliterates all of Gato's men, and Gato would just sit there and be like, wait, we can work something out. Like, I can give you money, yada, yada, yada. And Naruto would turn towards the direction of Gato and say that if he can give him money, then he needs to give him the location of it. He'll go retrieve it and he can leave. And Gato would tell him exactly where the money's at. Naruto writes it down, and Gato would say, so let me go, please, let me go. And Naruto looks at him and says, okay, I'll let you go. Straight to the villagers. As from here, the villagers would all arrive, and they would proceed to do what they deserve, what Gato deserves, right? Which is obviously not rated PG-13, so I can't talk about it. But ultimately, after that would end up happening, they make their way back towards the village, and once there, they're all informed of the Chunin exams and everything that comes with it. Once this all pretty much goes down, Naruto, due to the fact that he had defeated Zabuza, or sorry, not Zabuza, but due to the fact that he had defeated Haku, who was a very, very worthwhile opponent, actually ended up getting a grand total of 8 points in terms of XP And due to the fact that he had like an extra week worth of training before the Chunin exams actually started, Naruto also ended up gaining an extra 3 points, making him have a grand total of 11 points to drop on his like whole speed, strength, and all that stuff. But Naruto ultimately decides that instead of using it now, he's probably just going to use it later when he actually needs it. So Naruto just continues training, and through normal methods of training, his speed goes up to a 32, his strength goes up to a 31, his intelligence pretty much stays the same, his agility goes up to a 37, his stamina and durability, due to the fact that he trains every day, would go to a 40. And yeah, those are his natural stats, like just advancing every single day by simple methods of training, right? And ultimately, after all that would end up pretty much going down. Now keep in mind, his stamina and durability is at a 40. So Naruto was like a freaking tank at this moment. Like Naruto is like, if you guys thought that Naruto was durable in canon, when he like tanked the fireball jutsu, like he tanked getting slammed into a mountainside, he tanks a Chidori to the chest. Like Naruto literally has Nine Tails levels of durability without the Nine Tails, if that makes sense. Like Naruto is durable, y'all. Like Naruto can take a punch, like let me just say that. But ultimately what ends up going down after this is they would eventually find themselves face to face with the Sand siblings, once one of them would end up teasing Konohamaru. Now, Naruto, being the good Samaritan that he is, would obviously save Konohamaru, and from here, they have the same standstill as in canon, but ultimately, it ends up just like in the original, and eventually we would get the Rock Lee versus Sasuke fight. That goes down just like in canon. Sasuke still unfortunately ends up losing, however this time, even worse than in the original, considering that he never fought Haku. He never got trapped in the Ice Crystal Mirror, thus Sasuke never gained access to the Sharingan. However, I am going to say he's definitely going to gain access to it in the Chunin exams very, very, very shortly. So once they made their way towards the examination room, Sasuke had a lot harder of a time to cheat off people. So he was like very, very much so stressing about how his team was going to pass. And ultimately, once that last question was asked, it would be noted that Sasuke answered all the questions, but he got them all wrong. Naruto, however, would have wrote nothing down in his paper. Psych, that's canon Naruto. Naruto would have wrote the actual real answers down because he just simply decided to copy off Hinata by cheating and copy off of other people that were around him, trying to get the best possible answers that he could have gotten. Ultimately, they would make their way inside of the forest, and after about 40 minutes of traveling inside of there, they would finally stop, as Naruto would say he has to go take a leak. He does so, and as he does this, a gigantic snake would end up ambushing him. And Naruto, getting caught off guard by said snake, would like have to double jump up into the air, as the snake would bite down on this massive tree and would cause its leaves to begin shaking. Like the tree itself would be shaking. Naruto would jump back down onto the ground, and the snake would be about to eat him, but that's when Naruto would double jump, create a clone, transform that clone, and then toss the clone, which would become a gigantic like it would basically just become a gigantic Naruto, and it would slam its arms down on that snake, just completely crushing its head. That's an ability that I want to add to Naruto, right? Now, one of his abilities is double jump. His other ability is rewinding his body for 2 seconds, and his new ability will be gigantification, right? Where like he can become like massive or back to normal size, all like whenever he feels like it. So like let's say he's facing off against somebody and they're like a tailed beast. Naruto can transform himself to the same size of the tailed beast to straight throw hands with said object. So he would do so and obliterate the snake, and ultimately once he realizes that this snake is not normal, like it has to be a summoning, he would rush back towards his team, only to find that Sasuke would end up stabbing himself in the knee just to move, considering that he was that scared of Orochimaru. And then Naruto would stand in front of Orochimaru before he could go off and try to chase them, and Naruto would ask him why he's picking on his teammates. Orochimaru would say that that's none of his business, and Naruto would say but it is, because they're his teammates and nobody can intimidate Sasuke other than him. As from here, Naruto would turn towards Orochimaru and say that he's dead meat, as Orochimaru from here would smirk and shoot a massive snake jutsu at Naruto. Naruto, however, all Naruto would do is pretty much create a wind style jutsu, which he would shoot at the snakes and cause all the snakes to just get like shot back with like a hurricane level gust of wind that would just shoot at them, right? Orochimaru would be impressed as he would lick his lips and say, "Impressive." He would say that he wants his body, right? And ultimately Naruto would say that he's a freak and a weirdo. And Orochimaru would say not to say that about him, right? Saying that it hurts his feelings, you know what I mean? But ultimately Naruto would smile and say he doesn't care, as he would go into battle, and stunningly, Naruto would actually get completely clapped. Like I know that Naruto is like around Kakashi level, if not like way higher, but that doesn't mean that he is what's the word I'm looking for? That doesn't mean that Naruto is Orochimaru level. And that's where the problem starts. Because due to the fact that Naruto is still not in that rank of Orochimaru tier, because Orochimaru, I think I would like to say, is like around like the 50 level stats, or like 40 level stats, right? Like all across the board. 45s ish, like that, you know what I mean? And intelligence like 50, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. That's what his stats would be if he had stats. So Orochimaru is definitely up there, and Naruto, realizing that he is losing and losing fast and getting battle damage, because like Orochimaru was dealing heavy blows with taijutsu and stuff, Orochimaru would ultimately cause Naruto to get enraged, and like mid-fight Naruto would like jump back, like bloodied and beat, as he ends up having to take one of his restoration potions, which he has access to. He has 7 in total so far that he's collected. And Orochimaru would be shocked. He would say, "Interesting, some sort of healing Kekkei Genkai." He would say to himself he must have his young body. And Naruto would say that he needs to stay away from him. As from here, Naruto would quickly add his 11 points straight to his speed, because he wasn't able to keep up with Orochimaru. So now his speed would go up to a 43. And Naruto was now more capable of keeping up with Orochimaru in terms of speed. But Naruto was still losing in the strength department, right? And Naruto was losing at a very rapid pace. So Naruto started like getting like very worried and overwhelmed, and started to get to the point where his back was against the wall. He had no idea what to do. His teammates were going to die if he doesn't win this battle, and Naruto was just not having a very, very fun time, right? Like, it's getting bad. So pretty much what Naruto ends up doing is that he jumps back, and his rage is getting the better of him, and Orochimaru is about to attack him once more, and Naruto's like scared, but he feels more enraged at the fact that he's getting completely embarrassed, right? So ultimately his 9-tailed one-tail form would come in, and all of his stats would get amped instantly by 20 points. So Naruto now would turn towards Orochimaru and say he's done for. Blitzing in, he would begin going absolutely crazy on Orochimaru, and Orochimaru would begin getting caught off guard left and right. But Orochimaru, due to the fact that we've seen him face off against an actively 4-tailed Naruto, who came back to the village, I want to say, way stronger than Kakashi Part 1 level, so I'm definitely going to be saying that Orochimaru was still able to keep up with Naruto. However, they're like a lot more even than you guys would think, right? Because like adding 20 more points to Naruto would keep up with a really going at it to like actually kill somebody, Orochimaru, like actually trying all out, you know? Ultimately, Naruto gets caught off guard in one of the moments by one of Orochimaru's strategies, and Orochimaru would be capable of putting on the 5-prong seal on Naruto. Naruto would be about to pass out after having this done to him, but he would use his rewind ability on his body, taking him back to before that happened, and end up slashing at Orochimaru's neck. Orochimaru's body would fall to the ground, and Naruto would stand over it, breathing heavily, falling onto one knee as Naruto would fall deep into unconsciousness. Pick up part 3 with Naruto looking around groggily, realizing that Lee, Sasuke, and even Sakura are all facing off against the Sound 3 Genin, right? And he lifts his head up only to see everything, groggily saying, "What the?" as he looks around and realizes that his team is in danger. Naruto, without a second thought, would use one of his healing potions, as he would restore his stamina back up to 100. And because of that, he would be able to blitz in there and immediately grab one of the men by the arms, right? This time, Sasuke never ended up getting the curse mark, so he doesn't go apeshit crazy, and he's not able to absolutely body the same Sound Genin like in the original. Instead, that scene is replaced with Naruto doing the same thing that Sasuke would have done in canon. Naruto would look at him before asking him if he likes these arms of his, right? And the man would say, "Wait, what are you doing? Get off me, please. We'll leave. But Naruto says, "Nah." And he just snaps bro's arms. As from here, they would proceed to run away, and Naruto would turn towards Rock Lee before saying thanks for the help. Rock Lee would like question Naruto why he had to take it that far, and Naruto would say that they ambushed him. Breaking his arms was the least he could have done in that encounter, and Rock Lee ultimately would say that he can't wait to fight them both in the Chunin exams, having mixed opinions on Naruto, seeing as he kind of just watched him go a little bit crazy, but ultimately he realizes that it is a battle and he can't exactly be taking it easy on his enemies. So what would end up happening after this? Oh y'all, like I'm not even gonna play with y'all. Like I want to go play basketball so bad right now. Like usually I record these videos like late at night, probably like 11, 12, 1 a.m. But right now I want to play basketball so bad, and I know that if I go hoop right now, I'm going to come home super tired and won't be able to hoop. So I'm going to record this video, finish the series, and then go hoop. So y'all wish me luck in the comments, and let me know how many points y'all want me to drop for y'all. One of these days I might drop some sort of like basketball thingy-majigger. It'll be super corny and cringy, but hopefully you guys like it. Anyways though, continuing forward with the story, what if Naruto had solo leveling? Okay, so they make their way towards the tower, and once that would happen here, well, what should happen? Oh yeah, right. After that would happen, they would pretty much end up taking preliminary battles, which of course go down just like in canon. Sasuke's battle would pretty much just be a lot easier than it was in canon. Naruto this time would still be getting very much so offended by Neji's need of taking it as far as he did, and he would tell Neji that in the finals, he's not going to be taking easy on him, right? So Neji ultimately would walk away scoffing, and Naruto would ultimately end up destroying. And I genuinely mean it when I say this, y'all. Like Naruto quite literally would break Kiba. It's super sad, but Kiba stands absolutely no chance against a Naruto with solo leveling powers. I mean, Naruto's stats are just dwarfing Kiba's in every sense of the word. So for the following month, Naruto would end up training by himself until eventually, about 1 week into it, Jiraiya, the legendary Toad Sage, would arrive and make his presence known, wanting to become some super cool old guy who trains Naruto, and would be like, wait, I know how like all these abilities, yada yada yada, trying to like impress Naruto. But Naruto isn't really impressed by this guy, and ultimately Jiraiya just weirds him out. Jiraiya goes on to say that he has a jutsu that he can teach him that he probably doesn't know, and Naruto says, trust me, old man, there's not a single jutsu you could teach me that I don't already know. As Jiraiya says, how about this one? Pulling out the Rasengan, and Naruto would hold one hand out before performing it as well, ultimately shocking Jiraiya and leading him to ask where he learned that. Naruto would smirk and say he stole the scroll of sealing, and Jiraiya would ask how in the world that happened. Their security must have been down. Naruto said he did that before he even graduated the academy, that it was nothing. And from here, he would proceed to grab a kunai as he would tell Jiraiya to catch it, right? Tossing it at him, and Jiraiya would catch it midair as Naruto would appear in front of him, smirking, and Jiraiya would just be absolutely stunned. Jiraiya would ask Naruto if he has a summoning contract yet, and Naruto says he doesn't, but as from what he's heard, he's the Toad Sage, and that's the last thing Naruto wants. Naruto doesn't want to have some toads as a summoning contract. That sounds lame, no offense. And Jiraiya would just be like, as Naruto just looks at him and says he doesn't need a summoning anyways. He can probably summon some things later on with these cool abilities of him. And speak of the, I don't want to say that word. Speak of the topic, right? Speak of the topic, because we don't use that terrible name on this channel. But because we don't do that, speak of the topic, Naruto would proceed to pretty much just get on his main menu, new power unlocked. And Naruto would be like, all right, what's going on? Like, what is this? And he reads, and it says, Necromancer. And Naruto's like, what's that? As from here, he realizes that the ability that he just gained access to actually was beautiful. I mean, it gives him the ability to reanimate the dead, something that he was already going to be capable of doing with the reanimation jutsu. However, this time, he's going to be able to have full control over them, and he's going to be able to do it to whoever and whomever he pleases, right? So it's a more OP version of that, and Naruto would be very, very happy with that, thinking to himself that he could probably just desecrate a bunch of hidden leaf shinobi graves and he'll be set with that. So for the following next week, Naruto would go around digging graves in the dead of night and pretty much just taking the bodies of people like Sakumo Hatake, Minato Kushina. I mean, we're talking like dead legendary shinobis of the hidden leaf. Like, we're talking Hashirama's body, you know what I mean? Like Tobi Rama, like bro reanimates like like top tier shinobis, you know what I mean? And this is just Naruto just like discovering new things about himself every other day. Naruto would also end up adding his gigantification style to his fighting combat versatility due to the fact that he now has access to that. And eventually, once we get to the battle against Neji, Naruto would shock everybody by using a necromancer-like ability, and Minato would step in front of Neji as Neji would be shocked, like what? Like, and like bro, like everybody in the stands would be shocked. Hiruzen would stand up. Orochimaru would be shaking in fear. He's like, what? Like, I have his like how, you know, like I reanimated Minato. Like, how is this possible? You know what I mean? But ultimately, Naruto would proceed to simply using the body of the fourth, throws a kunai, and would one tap Neji with a Rasengan, causing Neji to be completely shocked and everybody in the stands to freak out over what just happened. Sasuke would finally return back to the village, having his Sharingan be to the same level that it was in canon after having unlocked it during the battle in the forest against Orochimaru. And or actually not against Orochimaru, let's say against the Sound 3, right? That's where he awakened it, and ultimately okay, he awakened it, and then he fights against Gaara. Oh yeah, he fights against Gaara, and Gaara runs away, right? Just like in canon, everything could not be going any smoother. Now, Naruto, realizing that Sasuke's probably going to be in danger, would decide to summon another thing with his necromancer-like abilities. He summons the great old Tobirama. Tobirama Senju, bro. And Minato would both like come out of the grave, and they proceed to just body Gaara. Like, they're there for precaution, but ultimately once Sasuke does lose, like everybody knew he was going to, the necromanced new characters that we just added would go in and absolutely destroy. I'm like, guys, like seriously, they would body the Jinchuriki. It's just not even funny. And Naruto would actually have made his way towards Hiruzen, noticing the commotion up there, realizing that Orochimaru must not be dead. So once he makes his way there and he sees Orochimaru, Naruto would question Orochimaru what he's doing back in the village, asking him how he's alive, considering the fact that Naruto, from what he remembers, he killed him. Orochimaru would say that that's none of his concern, but that he never dies. And Naruto would say, well, sorry to burst your bubble, buddy, but you're about to die today. As from here, Naruto would proceed to double jump into the air and form a bunch of hand signs before using a water dragon jutsu out of thin air, bro. He creates a water dragon from thin air. Orochimaru would be shocked, like being like, how? Like, nobody can muster up that much water from thin air, you know, like all crazy and stuff. And Naruto would simply look at him, smirk, as Orochimaru would have to dodge by using an earth style attack. From here, Hiruzen would end up extending his monkey staff Enma, and they would both tag team Orochimaru, not giving him a single chance to even try to use the reanimation jutsu on Hiruzen or Tobirama. However, the one on Tobirama wouldn't have worked because his soul is already down in the Naruto world already, and Naruto's taking control of him. Plus, the Minato one wouldn't have worked either. And the only one that would have worked if he really tried would have been the Hashirama one. But that wouldn't have really done anything, considering that we saw even Hiruzen himself take Hashirama out. Now, just to preface this, Naruto's reanimations are not half as weak as the one that Orochimaru summoned. They're like at 50% power. So they're still very, very like dominant, I guess you would say is the word. But ultimately, Naruto and Hiruzen would end up bodying Orochimaru, and because Hiruzen's still alive after this, he would decide that ultimately he's too old for this stuff. He's tired of becoming Hokage, and ultimately he wants to find his replacement. He talks it over with Jiraiya, and honestly guys, I'm going to say that Jiraiya ends up accepting this time. Now, Jiraiya ends up accepting this time because Hiruzen just doesn't let him say no, right? He's just like, Jiraiya, I'm not asking you. You've been living your life as a child this entire time, and that's done. Jiraiya, you need to finally assume responsibility in your life. You can't just go around peeping on women. You are becoming the next Hokage, and that's final, Jiraiya. And Jiraiya would just have to accept it, becoming the next Kage, and ultimately disliking it until Naruto tells him about the shadow clone technique. Jiraiya does this, and from here, what would end up going down is that we would end up having just the 3 years go by. Now, obviously, Itachi and Kisame end up crashing the village. However, just because Naruto is in the village, I don't think would be any reason for the attack between between the Jonin and Itachi and Kisame to change. Ultimately, because we know now in the future that they were really only there to look up on Sasuke, and Itachi doesn't really want to capture Naruto, I'm gonna say that they still end up leaving after that small little battle and like inconsistency would happen. And then after that, what would pretty much go down is that they would end up just returning back to the Akatsuki. 3 years would pass. Sasuke still this time would remain in the village because there is no like Sound 4 to like pretty much drag him back towards Orochimaru. And instead of Sasuke training and doing all that crazy stuff that he does, he would reach the same ultimate amount of power in the same amount of time via training with Kakashi, Naruto, and other people that would be there in the village. One downside, however, would be that Sakura doesn't get her monstrous strength, and she never finds out how to be quite the healer that she becomes in the future. Now, normally I'd be like, oh no, this is terrible, but honestly, Sakura was really only useful when it comes to taking out Sasori, and seeing as this version of Naruto now had 3 years, he had 3 years, not 1, but 3 years to get XP points. Like, really stop and think about how many points Naruto could have amassed during 3 years. During 1 year, I would give him like 40. So, just to be generous, split the difference. I'm going to be giving him 75 XP points. Yep, I said it. Actually, nah, bro. Nah, not even. 85 XP points. Yep. And you know what the first thing he's going to throw 20 into? He's going to throw 20 into his speed, making that a 60. He's going to throw 20 into his strength, making that a 51. He's going to throw 10 into his intelligence, making that 46. So we already basically used 50 of the 35 points that now remain, right? So let me chop that down before I end up making a mistake. And he now has 35 points to just casually drop on his durability, which he is going to do. 55. Which means he has 20 more points to throw into his agility, which makes that a 56. And let's go over his newly found OP stats. Speed, 63. Strength, 51. Intelligence, 46. Agility, 56. Stamina and durability, 55. Oh, and did I mention that Naruto's body also improved? So not only did his stats improve because of his XP, but Naruto also improved his body through natural means. So his speed is really a 69, his strength is really a 58, his intelligence is really a 51, his agility is actually a 62, and his stamina and durability after years of training is actually not a 55, but a 69. Cause noise. But yeah, that ends up going down, and Naruto would have even ended up gaining more special abilities. Not only does he have double jump, or the ability to rewind his body, or gigantification, or necromancer, but he's a weapon master because like he's like a weapon summoner, right? And he also has the ability to to swap places with things. A swap. Like literally he could just swap places with things, just like Sasuke's Rinnegan. However, its range is limited to about 5 miles with a 5-mile range, which, that's not pretty bad. So Naruto's overall stats are pretty busted, if I do say so myself. Matter of fact, y'all, this just doesn't feel OP enough. You know how I said he got 85 points? Scratch that. We're going to add even more points to that. His speed is a 79. His strength is a 68. His intelligence, a 61. His agility, a 72. His durability, a 79. So I added 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I added 50 more points on top of 85, which is what should be the real power that he ended up getting over 3 years, I think. Stats like 79, 68, 61, 72, 79 with incredible abilities, plus chakra, plus his taijutsu that he would have ended up, of course, learning during this time. And jutsus like Flying Raijin, jutsus like the Rasengan, jutsus like just OP broken jutsus would lead Naruto to be already being a top tier shinobi in the Naruto world, right? So Naruto's already busted and broken beyond all forms of belief. So once we would finally get to the portion in time where the Sand Village would be like, we need help, like our Kazekage has been taken, Naruto would just be like, oh, so the Akatsuki are finally acting up? And you know what I mean? Like, Jiraiya would be all like, yeah, like from the information I gathered from during the couple years that I was around, you know, they've been secretly moving throughout the shadows. And Naruto says that he actually picked up some of the slack during that time, and he has a good general amount of information on them. Naruto says that he's gonna take care of this problem, and after that, he's going straight for the head of the snake. Jiraiya advises against this, but Naruto ultimately says that he doesn't care and that it's about time that the Akatsuki were finally put in their place. So Jiraiya ultimately would have to just sit back and watch as Naruto in a solo dolo mission would just tell Jiraiya to just send him. And Naruto, using his swap ability, would just look 5 miles ahead, swap, 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 until finally he gets to the village hidden in the sand, right? And once he's there, he realizes that Kankuro is about to die. Like, he's like, okay, you know, this is not good. So what does Naruto do? He whips out a potion and bam, Kankuro's healed. Kankuro is just straight healed, just like that. And Naruto asks, you know, what happened? Kankuro says that he got poisoned, and Naruto says, oh, okay, so now I have to look out for poison, and what else? And Kankuro's like, they had an explosion, kind of like Kikigenkai. And Naruto would say, all right, perfect. As he would continue making his way there and just swap, 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 until finally he ended up arriving to the base where the Akatsuki members were at. And keep in mind, Gaara still hasn't died because they only extracted about 50% of the tailed beasts. So Naruto would shatter the rock and he would then walk inside, as Deidara and Sasori would look at him and ask him if he has some sort of death wish. What's he doing disturbing Akatsuki matters? And Naruto says that, you know, he's just here chilling. As from here, Naruto says, take care of them. And it would be at this moment that Orochimaru, bro, he reanimated Orochimaru. Let that sink in. Orochimaru, Hiruzen, because Hiruzen would have died during this time. Old age, you know, old age. Minato, Tobirama, Hashirama, the White Fang. What are some other OP ninjas that died through time? Like the Kinkaku and Ginkaku brothers, because why not? And just a bunch of fodder shinobi. Naruto would have all of them like come up from the ground, and they would all have this like red aura around them, as Deidara would wonder what in the world this is, asking if it's some sort of genjutsu, shooting an explosion and trying to break out of it using his special eye. But ultimately that wouldn't work, and he would realize that this is the real thing. Naruto from here would proceed to smirk as all of these reanimated bodies would rush in and obliterate, and I mean obliterate, Sasori and Deidara. They both die instantly. And Naruto from here, before Deidara could breathe his last breath, would ask him where the leader of the Akatsuki's at, and he would just utter, the village in the rain. So Naruto would just literally grab Gaara, throw him a potion of healing, and would tell him to make his way back to the village and say Naruto sent you, as he has bigger fish to fry. And Gaara would thank Naruto, as from here he would make his way back towards his village, and Naruto would embark on his way towards the village hidden in the rain. Before arriving, Naruto would have one thought to himself. These are the henchmen, and Naruto had an easy time, but what if this other guy, you know, the boss, is a whole lot stronger than Naruto's anticipating? There is one dungeon that Naruto still hasn't quite explored that does offer 10 XP, which is a lot when it comes to like how far Naruto has made it in during his journey this entire time. And Naruto thinks to himself that it would probably be in his best interest to do it before he takes on Obito. So he would do so, and he would end up gaining 10 XP points, which he would ultimately just throw into his strength category, just in case, pushing that to a solid 78. Now Naruto's speed and strength are both basically even, and Naruto now feels a lot more comfortable to just barge on the leader of the Akatsuki and ultimately berate him with attack after attack after attack. So what Naruto would do is pretty much just make his way there. Once he would arrive, he would end up finally snooping around and eventually using a large level jutsu to blow a massive chunk in the hidden rain village, ultimately leading to Konan and Nagato to realize his presence and make their way there, trying to have a full all-out battle, as Naruto would stare at all of the 6 paths of pain, and he would say simply underneath his breath, "So y'all like jumping, huh?" He would say, "I'm cool with that," as immediately just a bunch of like undead people would come out, and Naruto would summon this like gigantic 2-sided blade that just like, it just looks menacing. and he would put it over his shoulder as he would say, "Let's dance." And from here he would blitz over towards the direction of all of the paths of pain alongside his summonings, and using the flying Raijin, using his double jump, using his gigantification to enlarge his fists and crush some paths, using his like weapon summoner ability to give each of them legendary like weapons, and using a swap ability to swap places with Hashirama and lead him to like shoot gigantic like earth like wood style like beams of like wood at him. They would get obliterated. And Conan would be the only one left in fear, just trembling at the thought of having to face off against somebody as broken as Naruto. Naruto would look at her and say that, "Oh, give her one chance to breathe. Where's the real one?" And she would say ultimately she's not going to say a thing. So Naruto would decide that, okay, you're not going to talk? Fine. And he kills her. That's it, just plain and simple. He gets rid of her. He gets rid of the problem at its base. And from here, Naruto has like no real way of finding Nagato. So what does Naruto do? He pretty much just creates a ton of clones, like thousands of clones, and with his necromancer like bots, would proceed to send them out to look for Nagato manually, as one of them would finally find him, and Naruto would make his way there, making his presence known as he disperses all the clones, and Naruto faces face to face with the leader of the Akatsuki. Or so he would think. Naruto would have a conversation with Nagato, and ultimately Nagato would end up kind of getting to Naruto a bit, with his talk about how it's not fair that they get their revenge, but he doesn't, you know what I mean? And Naruto says that it might not be fair, but that's life for him. Unfair. As he was just about to obliterate Nagato, when suddenly a man in an orange mask would arrive and would begin laughing and acting like a complete goofball. And Naruto would ask him what he thinks he's doing here, Obito saying that he's here to take him down. He's become a nuisance and he needs to be taken down immediately. And Obito would immediately react, going on to pretty much like go through Naruto's body and would be just about to like stab him in the chest with like this like poison laced kunai like crazy attack, right? But Naruto would use swap, and he would be the one who would actually slam a Chidori straight into the heart of Obito, causing Obito to cough out blood and stare right back at Naruto, as he would summon them both to his Kamui dimension. And Naruto would say that this place is neat, as you know, Obito would begin like asking what he thinks he's doing, like why is he stopping his plans. He would then unveil his plan of the infinite Tsukiyomi and say that all he wanted to do was make a perfect world. And Naruto says that a world where nobody has control of what they do is everything but perfect. Listen to how that sounds, bro. He's sick in the head. Obito would pretty much like try to like say his own like 2 cents thing to that, but Naruto ultimately would just turn back towards Obito and bam, just rip his head from his body, cleanly just destroying Obito and telling him that he had no place in this world. He was far too gone. And Naruto from here turns back towards the direction of Obito before saying that hopefully they can meet in the next life or something like that. But Naruto just walks away and says ciao, as from here he leaves back towards the village, and the fourth Great Shinobi World War is prevented. Naruto having solo leveling means that his power level just gets to like 9,000, while everybody else in the Naruto verse is like at 5,000, 6,000 at even the highest. So it's just really not a challenge for Naruto, and he's able to just walk through life for the rest of the story as if nothing's going down. And that pretty much ends up marking the finale to What If Naruto had solo leveling. Pretty soon I'm probably going to be dropping a Demon Slayer What If, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And make sure to watch my brand new What If Xehther was in Boku no Hero Academia, as well as the Demon Slayer one, since they're both phenomenal videos. And with that all out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I love each and every single one of you guys, and remember, God loves you too. Peace.